Whenever you're ready, my man.
All right. I've got myself an adult beverage poured.
Maybe you'll need it
Got
if
myself an adult beverage poured with 139 proof rum mixed with Dr. Pepper. That's a lot.
I was about
Anyway.
to say, no, Jesus Christ.
It literally says overproofed on the bottle.
That's the kind of shit where you put like a splash in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I didn't use mine. Anyway, 5, 4, 3. Summer's gone. Nice to know you anyway. Told you wouldn't know that song, but you need
I
to.
don't.
It's by an artist by the name of Vancouver, China, out of St. Louis.
Oh, word!
Missouri.
Shout out to him.
Check him out. 2.7 Romancing is the song.
Maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, maybe it's for the best. That's a good one, but this is S now, so.
Right.
My favorite is All Time. Actually,
Right.
Spotify told me that was my most listened to song this year was All Time by Vancouver, China. Especially when it comes in with the fucking high notes. All time.
Yeah, I was about to say, you hit that falsetto, man.
Anyway, hey guys. Y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, Pete occasionally on the show, Giotavi on Twitch, and I am here with another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast, but I can't do it alone. Clearly, there are two people on the screen, so I must introduce the second gentleman to my side. He is none other than the great Superjaz.
Before I get to whatever my introduction may or may not be. All right then.
You doing your intro? I'm here.
I was gonna say I thought it was funny too that you when I did the flying effect and you put the music behind it. That was cool. Anyway,
wait, what?
We put the music behind it on one of the episodes, and I was like pretend like I was flying on my intro.
Did I do something like that?
You put some sound effect or something.
I don't remember doing anything like that. Maybe I did something. Anyway.
Okay. Well, there was some sounds edited in.
I'll have to go check that one out. Was it last week's?
I think it might have been last week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, when you were doing the flying thing. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Anyway, all that being said, yes, as he said, there are two people on the screen. Well, now there's one person on the screen, and the second person that's on the screen, the person that was on the screen, who's now the solo, which was the second, that'd be me, and I am Jazz, or you may call me Jazz, Superjaz, JTSJ, whatever you want, what have you in the like. And yes, as my colleague, my dear friend, my A-Spoon Coon, previously stated, this is the Whatever We Want podcast. And yes, the Whatever We Want podcast, self-explanatory. We do just that. We talk about whatever we want. I always say, we do not lead the conversation. We let the conversation lead us. We let these chips fall where they may. We may let the chips fall where they June or July. There you go. I'm probably gonna go down a whole diatribe of fucking like ignorance. Go ahead and
I fucked up.
Something is going on.
I was trying to do something off camera and I kind of messed up. So my headphones are unplugged right now. Keep going with your intro. Yes, the chips are falling where they may. All right, and they're falling all over my lap, etc.
I want to maybe say something, but since he can't hear me,
I still can't hear you, but I'm back now. Let me replug in my headset. This will probably be at least a little bit cut. All right. Yes. I am back.
What were you trying to do?
My shirt was on inside out, so I was changing my shirt. So that I could show you.
So you fucking crouched down under your desk to be on camera?
Yes, and then my headset got stuck in there. But this is the shirt.
That's cool. That's so you. Everybody, if you are just listening to the podcast, you need to look at the video real quick and see that shit. That is the stupidest, best shit ever. For y'all who aren't watching, Omari has a picture of him from years and years and years ago making a silly face.
In the background.
And one in the background, and he now has that shirt. I mean that picture on his fucking shirt. What I was gonna say was, instead of crouching down under your desk, well, you said you unless you're gonna like try to emerge weird, you could have just been like, "Hey, do your intro real quick." And while I was doing my intro, took your headphones off and just changed your shirt by walking off to the side.
Yeah, I tried to change the shirt underneath while I was doing that, but I did it in a stupid way, and so the headphone wire was stuck under the shirt and like around my arm by the time I put the shirt back on. And so I was like, okay, I can't do this. All right, I fucked up. Let me unplug the headset.
Well, anyway, all that said, so we actually talked about a decent amount of randomness off cam, but one thing while we were talking about off cam is I just nonchalantly just held my hand to my face, and everybody who's listening, you might want to watch for a hot second, held my hand to my face, just did one of these, chilling, and then Pete here said, "Hey, what in the fuck is wrong with the back of your hand, Jazz?" And yeah, if y'all can see, yeah,
burn.
There's a burn starting to blister real nice.
Mm-hmm.
For those of y'all who don't know, which I don't know if I ever said on here, because when we initially started this, I was working at a sandwich shop, and now I'm working at like an actual restaurant. But I act and I rap, but when I do 9-to-5 type jobs, I cook. And if you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen. I've burned but that was the thing, is I was telling my brother earlier today, because we got some food, telling my dad earlier a little bit ago, like later on, I've been cooking for about 7 or 8 years now. And when I first started cooking, I had burns all up and down my forearms. It was almost to the point, it's almost to the point where we were gonna go out one time. My mom was like, "Jazz, you might want to cover up when you go out." And I was like, "What?" So people don't think you cut yourself. Not to make light of people that cut themselves, but that's how many burn marks and shit were on my fucking arm. But over time, it's like you just get better at what you do, so you don't do it no more. So now they got this thing where I'm working. This is my first time. Obviously not my first time cooking. My first time working with like a flat top, where it's like a flat top griddle with like a counter, but it's like a heated counter type thing. And we cooking pancakes and chicken and all kind of whatever's on there. You got a lot of orders, and you got a lot
bacon pancakes.
So,
bacon pancakes.
We don't make bacon pancakes, but we do make banana. That's the closest BA. Banana. Okay. One extra syllable. But yeah. Actually, those are nothing alike, except that they're food and pancakes. But anyway.
Yeah, because bacon pancakes, you take some bacon and you put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and you put it in a pancake. Pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I put. This is for New York.
Wait, what?
So bacon pancakes.
I know from Adventure Time.
Yes, from Adventure Time. Someone mixed that with New York.
That's what fucked me up, dude. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, they brought in the instrumental, like the pianos for him, while he's doing take some bacon and put it in a pancake. And I was like, this is for New York pancake, bacon pancake.
That's like the perfect tempo. Like, oh shit. Anyway, no. So you got this. It's like a counter. For y'all don't know, it's like a griddle. It's like a counter space, but it's metal and it's heated. Is like the best way to describe it. And we cook all kind of stuff on there. And at the end of the night, or whenever you clean it, you have to take this thing called a grill brick. I don't know if you know what a grill brick looks like, but have you ever seen something like a pumice stone where it's like kind of, like rigid, like people use to get dead skin off of them and shit like that? It basically looks like a brick. It's not as heavy. It's got like the texture of pumice stone. You put like oil, grease, oil, whatever, on the flat top, and that heats it up enough that you can take the grill brick and scrub all of the leftover residue that burned heavy onto the griddle, scrub that off, then you scrape it, wipe it down, and it does look fucking shiny and clean. So the only time I really burned myself at this new job, because I've been doing this enough, the only time I really burned myself is fucking with this grill brick shit, because this is my first time cooking on a flat top and having to fuck with a grill brick. So when you scrub the grill brick, when you're in the middle, and this is hot as like oil, because you got to leave it, it's got to be hot to heat the shit off. So you scrub in the middle is good, but then there's walls on the sides of the shit. And when you get to the wall, if you're not careful, if you hit it like the wrong way, some of that oil will hit and splash up. And it's like if you hit the side of the tub and water splashed up onto like your arm or whatever in the tub. But this is hot ass, scalding ass grease. So I swear I am being more and more careful every time I go to clean this bitch. And today, I go to clean the motherfucker. I'm being careful as shit, careful as fuck when I get to the wall. And somehow that fucking shit just, and now I'm over here looking like I got a fucking, second head coming out of the back of my arm or some shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm part reptile out this bitch. Like, yeah. Yeah, he won, goddammit. Shit. No, like I said, I burned myself. I burned myself like crazy when I first started. But that's with anything. You're gonna fuck up enough, and then over time, you're just gonna naturally just get better.
I'm so happy I never burned myself on a flat top. I burned myself numerous times, just never on a flat top.
I haven't burned myself like on the grill itself, but I burned myself from the oil splashing off. Yeah.
Of the grill.
Yeah, right.
No, I burned myself pulling a tray of bread out the oven, pulled it too far, right up here on the arm, up here-ish. It's gone by now.
Your last job?
Yeah, it's gone by now. There's still some remnant of a scar from about 10 to 11 years ago where I was cooking pizza in the oven. I wasn't quite ready to take the pizza out of the oven yet, so I didn't put on the oven mitts at home. I didn't put on the oven mitts, but I took a spatula because I wanted to do something to the pizza with the spatula. But I stuck my hand in there, lifted up, heating element right on the hand.
Oh, you touched the burner?
The heating element, the electric stove. Ooh.
No. Try to lift it. Like you forget just how high it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell people because I can be seen as clumsy by people that know me. I tell people I have a low dexterity score, but a high reflex save. In the sense that I will fuck up and fall down and hurt myself easily, but I never really get too majorly injured because I somehow can react well enough to minimize the damage. To take D&D terms and put them in real life, and literally just explained what I was saying by that. Yeah. But yes.
I know that because I've been watching. Well, before I say that, would you have any more burns you can talk about, or was that it?
I
didn't want.
I have been burnt more, but nothing.
Okay. But no, I was. I knew what you were talking about. If it hadn't been for a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have known what the fuck you were talking about. But I knew what you were talking about this time because I've been watching G4's newest show because G4 is back. And I've been watching G4's newest show, Invitation to Party.
Okay.
You knew G4 came back, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You have no idea what Invitation to Party is?
It's a D&D show.
And you know that because of the connection I make, or did you actually know that?
A, the connection you made, and two, if I had to guess, I would have probably said something involving RPGs. Because the main group in an RPG is often referred to as a party.
Yeah. No, I love the show. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons a day in my life. I would actually be curious to play a campaign of Dungeons and Dragons with people who knew what they were doing, were willing to kind of teach me what to do, and really gave a fuck, because I think it'd be something that I'd, really want to do. Mm-hmm. Especially because now that I've seen G4's, show.
As an actor, you'd get a kick out of it.
That's what I was going to say. Now that I've seen G4's show, it makes me think that as an actor, yep. But it, I've been looking at it, and I would not have been opposed to it. I just wouldn't have necessarily sought it out. But now I'm like, oh, this looks fun as fuck. And I'm looking up other videos of people playing. And it's like, if you with people who really take the shit serious and really want to have a good time, this is like, you have a lot of fun with it.
Well, I told you, I mentioned in a previous episode, I've been part of a campaign for a while where I was playing the whole edgelord character with the talk like this and had the pet wolves. And especially once we've gotten to this point, it's just fun knowing the whole story, and you just make a lot of memories. For you and your fellow players, but even within the campaign, your characters have had memories they've made together with fun moments and stuff like that. And so it's like being told a story, but you're also part of the story and can determine how the story goes. And so when you think about it like that, if it keeps going on and stuff and everyone's still enjoying what they're doing, magnifique. Now, you can have sometimes where you get the exact opposite effect, but that's just based on situations and stuff.
You get the exact
different DMs and stuff. Different storytellers tell their stories different ways.
Yeah, it seems like obviously like a lot of the fun of it is based on the roll of the dice, literally. But then also a lot of the fun seems like it's based on, like you said, it kind of can crash and burn because of the chemistry of everybody who's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, like you said, DM, like the Dungeon Master, this dude they got for Invitation to Party, this dude named B. Dave Walters. I don't know if you know what that is.
Nope.
But this is a black dude, and he is really good at leading, because you can tell that there are times where they got four main cast members who are part of the other G4 shows, but they are the main four going down the campaign for this, particular Dungeons and Dragons
party.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I was explaining it confusing as fuck. So they and you can tell that there are times where everybody knows what's going on, but there are times where they like the other people, because they're they're still new to this shit. They don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
And he is really good at leading the shit without straight up telling them what to do. And he tells them what to do in his time, but he makes it involving and stuff like that. And they do this whole thing too, where like they also, like, when need be, instead of just talking as the character or talking out what they're gonna do, they actually like get up and in character act out like the scenarios, and figure it out that way. But no, I mean like physically acting in the shit out, like improv type acting.
Well, yeah, especially because it's on a TV show. But yes, right. Even still,
it makes it as like the viewer, it makes it interesting to watch. Because like they did this whole thing yesterday, because it comes on every Friday at 5 Central. They did this whole thing yesterday where like one of the characters was like drowning, so they actually like pretended like he was drowning and they had to save him and all this shit. And it was like, yeah, because if it was a TV show where a lot of people ain't never played Dungeons and Dragons, and then y'all just sat at a fucking table the whole time. It'd be fun to watch up to a point, but after a while, it'd be like, okay. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. That fucking show would not have been nowhere near as fun to watch if they didn't have the holograms of the cards and you were just watching motherfuckers throwing cards down.
Did I tell
That would
you I
have got
have a
boring as shit.
motherfucker at my job with a blue eyes white dragon tattooed on his forearm? Also, we have like key cards on lanyards or whatever to get into and out of the building. Motherfucker, in his key card lanyard, he also has a blue eyes white dragon card in the lanyard. He sits at his desk where his phone is, going through his Yu-Gi-Oh deck while he's in between cards. This man is a fan of that series.
This man looking for Yu-Gi-Oh.
I refer to him as Kaiba Jr. sometimes because why not? But I was like, yeah, it's Kaiba Jr. over there.
Have you sat down and like actually like maybe talk to him?
A little bit. He's a cool dude.
He seems like he probably would be. But I'm just saying, yeah.
I don't know that damn much about Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
if you have a tattoo like that, there's no way that's not a conversation piece.
Oh no, like I've definitely been like, oh shit, blue eyes white dragon, blah blah blah. But the dude's clearly up to date with modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, and I stopped being even remote. I stopped being even remotely meta with Yu-Gi-Oh when I was in high school.
I had
and moved on to Magic, and even then, I'm out of the Magic meta at this point.
What was the shit with the birds? It was like the
harpies.
No, like it was like the bird deck. It was like Elemental Hero.
Oh, okay.
I had a deck where it was like Elemental Hero Aviatrix and Elemental Hero Fire some motherfucker and Elemental Hero Water nigga, some shit like that. Like
and people at home, I love me the Blue Eyes White Dragon. That is my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh. Every Yu-Gi-Oh deck I had, I made sure to throw 3 of them motherfuckers in there. So I get the love, but I never once thought about getting a Blue Eyes White Dragon tattoo, let alone a big ass one all over my forearm. Nor do I carry the Blue Eyes White Dragon like in my lanyard at work. That's what I'm saying. That guy and I, like, we definitely have been able to have conversations. It was definitely a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
But I don't know that much about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, you're not going to know that much.
Exactly.
even if you knew a lot, even if you knew a hell of a lot, you're not going to know that much.
But yeah, I'm sure I could have a conversation anytime I wanted to learn whatever I needed to about Yu-Gi-Oh from that individual. I can. But he still seems like a cool dude.
You could probably say, like, what's Maximilian Pegasus' birthday? And he'd probably be able to tell your ass.
He definitely would be able to tell me Kaiba's.
Yeah.
But Kaiba being the character who has the Blue Eyes White Dragon for people at home. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a creature in Yu-Gi-Oh! And blah, blah, blah. And Kaiba's the Vegeta of that series in the sense that he's the rival to the main character / reluctant assistant to the main character.
And I started laughing because it's like he like everything you said, but I started laughing because he's the Vegeta, so to speak, because no matter how good he'll be, he'll never be as good as Yugi.
It's okay though, because he always shits on Joey. It's hilarious. He insults Joey the entire... And I love Joey. Joey's hilarious, especially dubbed Joey with his whole, "Hey, I'm Joey Wheeler, New York, Yug. What you doing? Time Wizard."
He does have a New York accent, yeah.
Time Wizard. And all that stuff.
Yeah, Wizard. Right,
I fucking love Joey Wheeler. But Kaiba talks shit to this dude the entire series about how terrible of a duelist he is. And never once... And they duel multiple times. Never once does Joey get the upper hand on him. Kaiba always. So Kaiba talks shit, says, "You ain't shit. You ain't never been shit. You ain't gonna be shit. Get down on the ground like the dog you are. Joey's like, yeah, well, fucking duel me. And then he gets his ass whooped. And Kaiba's like, I fucking told you. You ain't shit. You ain't been shit. You ain't gonna be shit. And he just has to hold that. He just has to hold that for the whole fucking series. That Kaiba is just leaps about it. Kaiba's like, I may lose to Yuki, but fuck you, Wheeler. And he's like, fuck you! I'm no dog. Shut up. You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Damn. But I remember that too. Like, anime, when you really think about it, anime is crazy in the sense that them motherfuckers, the people who make anime, they are so creative. They can make the most mundane shit epic as fuck. This was a show about motherfuckers playing a card game, man. And this shit was like life or death like situations.
I'm just thinking of shit because Twitch once showed all of Yu-Gi-Oh! On there for free for like a week or two. Just, okay, we're going to play the whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And I saw one episode, they had gone through a whole arc where they saved Kaiba's life because of reasons. And then at the end, Joey's like, yeah, you should show some gratitude. I ain't showing you no kind of gratitude. I didn't ask for your help, and as far as I'm concerned, I never needed it. You, Yuki, on the other hand, I will show some respect.
But that is blatantly, like, that's blatantly saying fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you in particular, Joey Wheeler. Yugi, you on the other hand, I'll show some respect and gratitude, but fuck literally you, I'm beating you one day. Dude,
literally same situation.
You realize that whenever the series fucking ended, once I guess Kaiba realized that the Pharaoh was playing Yugi's games for him or whatever,
Yami.
This motherfucker, yeah, the Pharaoh, Yami, whatever. This motherfucker, Kaiba, made his own, like, spaceship or space thing. Went to space so that he could, like, do some shit so he can try to go back in time and duel the fucking Pharaoh to finally beat that motherfucker. Like, that's how he's like, I'm off to space now. I gotta beat this motherfucker. No, fuck this shit. And I'm just
I would have said it's not that serious, but in their world,
in anime, it is.
In their world, it is that serious.
To these Vegeta motherfuckers, it's always that serious.
Well, and
I want to beat this nigga over here, and I'm gonna.
But I'm saying too, like in that scape in Yu-Gi-Oh, in the Yu-Gi-Oh realm, the Yu-Gi-Oh world, it is that serious. Like I said, in Yu-Gi-Oh, it was life or death shit. His fucking grandfather got, what was it, trapped in some like interdimensional.
Yeah, his soul got taken out of his body and put inside of a card.
And he had to play a card game to get him back. So,
and if he would have lost his soul, would have been in a card too.
I would have said it wasn't that serious, but in the Yu-Gi-Oh
because
world,
Maximilian Pegasus will beat you in a duel to take your soul. And then it's gonna turn you into a 2.
Y'all gotta look at
the previous episode.
Is it the previous one to this, or
yeah,
like 2 or 3? Okay, yeah. Look at that, where Pete goes into detail about him calling up this radio station with that shit. That shit was hilarious. Anyway, but no, I'm just saying, like, they made it epic as shit. We were watching people playing a card game. Now, like I said, they didn't have the holograms. The fucking show would have been not as good. But I remember how crazy it was that Pegasus had the fucking eye thing, and he could look and see Yugi's cards, and it was like, oh, shit.
He just read your mind. It wouldn't even just see your cards. Motherfucker could read your mind. So even if he couldn't see your cards in particular, all of those Millennium items helped you cheat somehow at the fucking game. Even the main character, Yugi, literally had a dude that's like thousands of years old and has been playing games for thousands of years, play the game for him. That's cheating, like I was saying, in and of itself.
Long enough, you got experience and in it, and you do better.
That's cheating in and of itself. Also, the heart of the cards is the most bullshit, top decky shit ever. That is literally him saying, I'm going to cheat to put the card I need on the top of this deck. And I think someone was telling me they saw something from a later series where they had like a main character being coached by fucking Yami or something. And like the guy's like, "Oh God, I'm gonna lose, and I need to draw the right card to win." Oh crap, I didn't draw it, and Yami just goes, "What do you mean? With the heart of the cards, anything is possible." And the card is the card he actually needs instead, and he fucking wins. And I'm like, God damn it! But here's the thing: when Yu-Gi-Oh first started, it wasn't about card games. It was just like he put the puzzle together. Yugi was a kid that got bullied by Joey and Tristan, and he put the puzzle together, and eventually they became friends and stuff. But when he first did it, Yami would just take over his body to like get him out of things. But he was just called the king of games in general. Probably where Yu-Gi-Oh comes from based on that, because like usually blank O in Japanese is like king of whatever. I'm not sure if Yu-Gi equals games, but Yu-Gi-Oh is king of games. But the king of games would come out here and challenge people to fucking shadow games for their souls, winner take all, whatever the game is. One of them was a fucking literal play on the Telltale Heart, where some dude was sitting there and Yugi charged him or challenged him to a game where person who makes noise first loses. You gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet, right? Okay. And this guy sitting there, and the guy had a microphone, but the microphone wasn't necessarily plugged in, but the microphone jack was like balanced on a cup or whatever. And the guy's like, "Oh shit, if that falls close to my noise sensor, I'm gonna lose. Please don't fall, please don't fall. This guy's gotta make noise soon. This guy's gotta make noise soon." Thing goes off. What the hell? "Oh, didn't you realize your heart was pumping real loud because you were scared about that thing right there? So you lose, and fuck you, you lose. Bye." But that's not even that's whatever. That's some Telltale Heart shit. Whatever. His heart gave away his losing. The cheating one was, we're gonna roll a die. Highest number wins. 1 through 6. Let's go. Guy goes. He's like, "You can go first." Guy rolls. Ha ha! A 6. Fuck you, I win. I got a 6. And Yugi's like, "I still haven't gone." Rolls the die, splits it in half. 1, 6, 7. I win.
Wait, what? What? Wait.
Like literally rolls the die, it splits in half to show a 1 and a 6. It could have been any two halves, by the way, because both sides, opposite sides on a 6-sided die always add up to 7. Right? But it specifically was a 6 and a 1. And he's like, 7, I win. Wait, what? And because you're and the guy, granted, the guy losing was a villain, so he was an asshole. He probably deserved most of the stuff that came to him. But pretty much that guy, because Yugi decided to cheat and break the die in half, he pretty much spent the rest of his life seeing, Mosaic, the censor type stuff where they blurred out with the, like, it used to be kind of like tiles when they would censor shit out. You ain't never been...
Pixelation?
They also refer to it as a mosaic.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
but that was his eyesight for everything for the rest of his life because he lost that die roll.
Like that's basically that
everything he saw was blurred out.
That was his wager.
He didn't know what the wager was. It was just, let's roll a fucking die. Oh, you lost? Well, fuck you. And then eventually they came up to an arc about card games, and then that became what the series was all about. But the dude would always cheat, and early on it was just like Yugi would cheat to win, and if the opponent cheated, he'd be like, "I knew you couldn't follow the rules. The gate of darkness is open, and you lose anyway." Wait, what? So only he could cheat.
So he could cheat.
But if someone else cheated, he'd call them out on it, and they lose. So, yes, motherfucker was cheating the entire fucking series. And it was okay because the people he was cheating against were assholes. But it's still funny that's what it was.
I remember trusting the heart of the cards, though, because, like, that basically is, like you said, it's basically, like, the plot said so is like shit. It's like, I'm gonna lose. All the like, the chips are down. Oh my God, I can't win. Trusting the heart of the cards. It's the one card I needed to beat you. How? because the card literally says right here, the one card needed to beat you. I played one card needed to beat you, win the whole game. Like, what the fuck?
Not to mention that first season, they were just making up rules. I'm going to attack the castle. Oh, you didn't destroy the castle. You just knocked this flotation ring off. This is just shit you see with the holograms. There's no flotation ring rule to that card.
Yeah,
it's just because of the hologram. Because of the hologram, you said it just knocked this flotation ring off. It's like, that's right. So it crushes all your creatures and you lose. I win. Wait, what? Or just everything involving Pegasus. But at least he had a plot-relevant reason to cheat at the game. Because according to the plot, Pegasus made the fucking card game.
Oh.
So if anyone's going to bend the rules, it's the creator of the game to be like, here's this card you never heard of. What? I heard that they banned that card.
Created it, yeah.
Actually relinquished. It was deemed either relinquished or Toon World was deemed too powerful to be actually released. And so they kind of banned it. And he's like, but I have the only copy. Fuck you, I made the game.
I remember I had a Maximilian Pegasus like inspired like deck, and so I had a Toon World, I had a Toon Blue Eyes, and like some Toon other shit, and it was like
nearly as broken in real life.
Well, it was cheating, like broken in the sense of they were like very high powered, and the only people that I think could hit the Toon monsters was Toon monsters, but Toon monsters could hit anybody else. So it was, but you had to play the field card of Toon World. I think you had to sacrifice 1,000 of your life points just to play it.
Yeah.
And then I think for every monster that you played under it, you had to sacrifice 500 life points. And then it was like every time you attacked, I think you had to sacrifice so many life points, or
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not nearly as broken in real life as it was in the thing, where it was pretty much, here's my card that you can't kill, but I can kill you.
Well, because the thing was, I think it was like every turn you had to sacrifice another 1,000, or every few turns, some shit like that. And the thing was, if y'all don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh card game in real life, you have 8,000, or in the show too, you have 8,000 life points. And then there's like other rules in there, but basically you're trying to get monsters cards on your side with their attack points that are written on the card to subtract by attacking your opponent until they hit 0. So if you got to keep sacrificing your life points before you even get hit, you are increasing your chances of losing. But the thing was, because Toon World was so fucking like broken, so to speak, cheap type of shit, they had to make it where you had to sacrifice life points, because if they didn't, that shit would have been so unfair.
Everyone knows in cartoons the cuddliest creatures don't ever get hurt. Fucking Pegasus. I made him a toon. Made him 10 times more cuddly. You stripped it of its honor. When he turned the Blue Eyes White Dragon into the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, he literally said he made it more cuddly, and Kai was like, you stripped it of its honor. No, I've made it more cuddly. And his explanation for why it couldn't take damage, he said the cuddliest creatures never get hurt. That's Pegasus's
that sounds dumb.
Own quote.
Sounds funny, but sounds dumb. Yes. I love how you look at me like, what did you expect? Like, no shit.
Like, of course it does. Maximilian Pegasus was a character. That dude was a fucking character.
What cheap motherfucker. What was I gonna say? But that was another thing too in real life, like with the Toon World, that you couldn't do. You couldn't take like your opponent's monster, and when they attacked, if you like defended a certain way and got it, all of a sudden your card is mine under Toon World. No, that shit didn't work like that.
Or fucking relinquished. And don't get me started on Karibo. That little fucking broken ass piece of shit in the show.
What did Karibo do?
The little fucking furball.
I remember it, yeah. I
All
remember
right,
it looked like a Furby or some
Yugi
shit.
cheated
Well,
with
not
that thing
Furby.
so much. Just like Yugi Karibo plus multiply, where it's pretty much congratulations because I have Karibo and multiply and I have it in defense mode. I can't lose. You will just destroy Karibo, and then like 50,000 or 50 more Karibos will just pop up in its place. Oh, you had a counter to Karibo, like relinquished or Thousand Eyes restrict, which I think it was at that point, where Thousand Eye restrict paralyze the opponent's monster, and he could absorb that monster and take it for his own, just automatically at the start of his turn. But because Yu-Gi-Oh played Karibo and multiply, Thousand Eyes restrict had to try and get all the Karibos. Well, apparently Karibos explode on contact. So it ended up crippling Pegasus's creature. And he fucking lost. Because
In real life, not like that. Yeah.
no, that's good. Then again, the fucking Karibos explode on contact. Bullshit ain't nothing. The fuck are you talking about? He literally did that in another thing where they were like fighting some giant monster in a virtual reality world. And he's like, I summoned Karibo. And then use multiply. Really and then had the fucking Karibos. The multiply Karibos literally just attack a thing. You're like, and because Karibos explode on contact. Like, stop with this Karibo explosion. Bullshit.
Who's the main protagonist in like the later years that had like elements of heroes and shit? What was his fucking name?
I don't know. I stopped watching once the main party left. Like, once it got to Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX or whatever.
DMX, rest in peace.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I actually stole
GX. I
stole the DMX thing from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged way back when they're like, it's like gonna be our next show, Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX, and then it was, and this isn't me just trying to shoehorn it in there, but they literally would cut to a thing with clips from DX where it's like, then we gonna rock, then we gonna roll, then we gonna give it to you, we gonna give it to you.
Oh, let it go. No, it's like certain shows after you get to a certain age, they start getting like so just seemingly convoluted. Maybe not as convoluted as like they seem, but seemingly convoluted. Like I stopped watching Pokemon after Johto.
Same.
There's no other Power Rangers besides Mighty Morphin, but I watched a little bit of Zeo and Turbo. It's like shit like
I stopped
that.
at Turbo.
After a while, I'm done.
I stopped at Turbo.
Right. Like SpongeBob.
I've seen shit from later series, but my initial being a Power Rangers fan stopped at Turbo. But because
like
I showed all the Power Rangers, I saw some of the later stuff.
I looked at some shit like, how many years ago after I stopped watching Power Rangers and motherfuckers were like morphing with cell phones. And I was like, what the hell? It's like, this shit is definitely a product of its time and very, very different from what I know. And fucking apparently Bulk and Skull and Jason David Frank just never left the show.
Oh, Tommy is the best Ranger ever.
Which I'm not shitting on them for not leaving the show.
Tommy's
I'm just saying
the fucking goat.
They stayed. Like, that's crazy. That man in real life is a Power Ranger. Shit.
They literally, well, I mean, the man was with the series off and on forever. There's actually an episode where Tommy fights an evil version of himself, and both of them switch to like every version of Tommy that's ever been in the show, and both of them have multiple transformations. So it's like one point it's him in his current form versus like old school Green Ranger. Now he's White Ranger versus like Red Ranger Tommy. And now he's insert like other type of Ranger that I didn't know Tommy was even part of, because he ended up coming back as like their mission giver. Just like, yeah, I'm that nigga. I'm Tommy. It me.
Of all the people who I would have thought would have stayed with this show, and again, not hating, just, telling like it is, I would not have expected Bulk and Skull to apparently have lasted as long as they did.
I think they eventually became good guys, too.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I know, and the reason I noticed, like I said, Twitch, before they did the Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, they had a Power Rangers marathon, where they went through the entire franchise up to that point of Power Rangers in America.
Twitch was playing all
like 2 or 3 weeks. I wish they would do that with some more series and stuff. They should do it with fucking. It just reached 1,000 episodes.
One Piece?
Yeah. They should do it with One Piece. Anyway, or at least like Naruto or something
Your
more
fucking
popular.
revelation.
Yeah, I'm like, why not? It's 1,000 episodes. You guys run ads during it anyway, so it's not like you won't make any money off of it. When you don't count America, it's even when you consider the fact that it's not as popular here, it is still the most popular manga worldwide. I mean, the thing's reached over 1,000 chapters and 1,000 anime episodes.
That's crazy.
Like literally, episode 1,000 was like 2 weeks ago.
And they're all original Japanese and dubbed. So like, sheesh.
The dub hasn't reached episode 1,000.
Oh, dub hasn't reached 1,000 yet. Okay, I was about to say.
My good friend of mine down here told me his nephew recently got into it and recently caught up with the dub. He's like, I'm proud.
How many episodes of dub got about?
No say, Joseph.
Okay.
I'd say over 500 because I'm pretty sure they're past the time skip by now.
You said you prefer the dub over the subtitle for this.
That is not what I said.
I thought you said that.
I said I prefer one dub to another dub.
Okay.
The yo, dreaming. That dub, which is dubbed by the same people that dubbed Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way, and Pokemon, 4Kids. That dub is terrible of One Piece. And not just because it's overly censoring, because I mean Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon overly censored their series. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh literally deleted guns and had people point at you. Mr. Pegasus would like to have a word with you. No, in the actual anime, they're holding guns there, but instead they're pointing. Or Bandit Keith, Pegasus, fuck you, you fucking cheater! I'm gonna attack you. Get him out of here. Yeah, he wasn't just pointing at him. Bandit Keith's about as American of a character as you can get. He pulled a gun on his ass. And for people who don't know, it's not just because he has a gun that I said he's American. He literally has an American flag bandana. He is literally a fucking American character.
Well, he talks a little like this too, like that.
Bandit Keith is awesome, but then again, I was probably biased because American. Anyhow, 4Kids, if it was just the censoring, okay, I get it. You tried to overly censor the show. I still would consider you inferior, but I wouldn't hate it. They literally edited out arcs, trying to like. For whatever reason, like, and without going into specifics, because that could be spoilerific, let's just say One Piece is a series where you can't really skip any arcs. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of that stuff comes up later, and it's like, oh, the fact that you skipped this entire arc makes this plot point later not make any sense. But 4Kids didn't get to dub it that long. They stopped right about around Skypiea, where Funimation took over. And Funimation's been doing the dub since. And I like the Funimation dub, but I still like the original version better because that's the version I saw and got too used to the voices with. But I don't think they did that bad a job with Funimation. It's just some people's voices hit my ear wrong, mainly Luffy's.
Well, and it's just funny too because it's like the one thing that attracted you initially to One Piece
was that song. That's the only good thing about the 4Kids stuff.
I was gonna say that's the one thing that a lot of people I've heard who like One Piece said fuck this because of this theme song, and that's the one thing that made you be like, let me give this a shot.
Well, I told you earlier, it was one of those things where, you know, I could clearly tell I was being pandered to. Like, hey there, urban youth, you like the rap music.
Yes.
Although I wasn't quite an urban youth at the time that I heard it. But it was like, hey there, urban youth, you like the rap music, don't you? Here's how the story goes. We find out about the treasure in the grand line. There's no doubt that the pirate whose eyes own it, he'll sing. You know, but I was like, that's catchy enough to at least give this show a shot. But I also kind of dropped it. And then it wasn't until later where I actually read the manga that actually got me into the series.
I'm not gonna lie. Have not seen an episode of One Piece in my life. Eventually, I will probably check it out. That fucking theme song, as fucking stupid as it is, that theme song is
It's
pretty
fucking
like that.
catchy.
It's pretty like that.
If 4Kids, I will say this, because people have their hatred for 4Kids Entertainment for what they do to animes when they bring them over here, or what they did, because I don't think they're around anymore. But if there's one thing 4Kids did right, it was theme songs.
Bro, that ya, it comes on like fucking
Yayo.
strong.
Yayo, very good theme song. Well, not very
strong.
good, but it's a catchy enough theme song to get you to watch. The Yu-Gi-Oh theme song was catchy enough.
Yu-Gi-Oh, your move. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I want to be.
I was waiting on it. If you didn't say it, I was going to.
Like no one ever was.
That's the one thing everybody from our generation, if you get enough people who watched it back in, they gonna know most of, if not all the words.
Yeah, that show put 4Kids on the fucking map.
And then
like shit like One Piece ended it because they didn't actually watch One Piece when they decided to take on the licensing. Otherwise, they would have realized it was not up their alley. Because while it is a goofy looking show and definitely has its goofy things early on, it also has some serious shit in there too. And it's like, did y'all not watch this before y'all decided? Yeah, let's take that on. We got Pokemon bringing in the money. We'll have One Piece too. Oh, we're gonna have to do a lot of work to overly censor this. Oh boy.
I'm laughing not having seen it, but I can somewhat pick it.
That's pretty much what happened. Now, it's not like they got Berserk on accident or some shit. Now, that would... Berserk's not even considered a shonen. It's considered, like, for older audiences. That's why I was saying. Like, it's not like they got Berserk on accident. They wouldn't have been able to get past, like, an episode of Berserk.
Well, shit,
Lots of violence.
Speaking of shows ending, fucking I never seen an episode of Cowboy Bebop a day in my life, but the live action Cowboy Bebop fucking got so panned so hard that shit fucking, the reviews were so bad even before it came out that shit basically got tanked, and it is not coming back in the slightest.
And the live action One Piece is gonna be terrible too.
I love John Cho. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that fucking
which one was John Cho?
He was the Spike.
Okay.
Spiegel, main character.
Kumar. Having not actually watched the series. Wait, Harold was playing Spike?
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyway.
Yeah. He's like cut as fuck, he's like in shape and cut as fuck, but
still not gonna watch it. But having not watched it, I will give it kudos that they tried, for the most part, to get it to look as accurate as they could. I say for the most part because there's a particular character that apparently they botched the fuck out of.
I had never, like I said, seen an episode of Cowboy Bebop, but when Toonami was big back when we were, coming up, and when I would see the bumpers for Cowboy Bebop and shit like that, from what I saw with the live action, like the little bit that I saw on Netflix, like teaser shit, and then that, it looked definitely for somebody who would not know what Cowboy Bebop is supposed to look like. From what I assume, it looked like Cowboy Bebop.
That's what I'm saying. They did a lot of good work with making it look like Cowboy Bebop. I just know I've also seen a couple pictures where it's like, we were talking before this started about Sonic and how he was portrayed in the character assassination that they almost pulled with him. It was about that bad of a depiction of a different character.
Like I was saying,
while everybody else was fixed Sonic depictions, this one character, woo, no.
Well, like I was saying, G4 that I talked about a little earlier. they were like, doing like their whole like reviews and shit. And basically what it's because they were even saying like the reviews for this shit are fucking awful. Like, and I haven't watched it, so I feel for the people, but it basically seemed like everybody was saying don't try to make a Cowboy Bebop show, but everybody was still hopeful that it would be good.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
And the a lot of the One Piece fan base is the same for its live action thing that's coming out sometime in either 2022 or 2023. But I am of the extent that it is impossible to make a good live action anime adaptation because like, nobody's done it yet. And even if people try to be somewhat faithful, it is really hard to it's the same thing with video game movies and stuff for the most part, because like 99 times out of 100, 99 times out of 100, you're gonna have that person that's like, I'm directing this, I want it to be accurate, but wait, no, I need this to appeal to a greater audience. I'm gonna change shit to my vision. This is how I see the series. This will bring people in. And I get it. You're the director. You're allowed to have your own artistic vision. But just a note to people out there that want to adapt a video game or anime or anything or novel or comic book to the big screen, or a specific story from a comic book. You want to take comic book characters and put them on the big screen with your own story? Go right the fuck ahead. Marvel did it with Avengers. It was fine. But for the most of you people out there that want to take that commonly loved thing and try to get it to appeal to a bigger audience because now you have a movie, I need to tell you something. Just by making it a movie, you've appealed to the bigger audience. Congratulations, mission accomplished. People that don't watch One Piece or Dragon Ball or play certain video games don't hate it because they hate the story. They've never even given the fucking story a chance because they don't like it. And 9 times out of 10, they just don't like fucking anime. Or they just don't fucking like video games. Or they just don't fucking like comic books. But they'll watch a fucking movie. So you'll take a fan of something. So you'll take a fan of something that's like, I like this thing. Or hell, I'll take Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I like Final Fantasy VII. Tell my friends for years, I like Final Fantasy VII. For whatever reason, they may not want to play it because graphics look way too much like a product of its time, or they don't like the way the game plays, or something like that. Really good story, because I can agree with their points of why they don't want to do it, but really good story, but they don't want to give the story a chance because they can't get past the superficial other shit. So you get the remake, modern day graphics, voice acting, change the gameplay style. Sweet, right? Now you've already appealed to people who hated that stuff about that other thing, but that's not enough for them. Nah, they gotta take aspects of the story and change it so that they can get that bigger audience. And all they really do is piss people off, because if I told my friends this and I'm like, here's this game with this story or TV show with this story I like, watch it. You didn't want to watch the anime or play the video game, and then they see it and they don't like it and they're like, that was stupid. How the fuck could you like something like that? How fucking stupid are you? Well, and then now I'm looking like an idiot. Their opinion of me has dropped because clearly I don't have the intelligence to like good shit. And I'm like, but that's not the story that I was trying to tell you about. They fucking changed it. And now I look like a fucking moron, even worse. That's why people get mad when shit's not like the original source material. Not because, Orxis, I can't do anything because I sit in my mom's basement all day fucking slamming my head against the wall. No, that's not why. It's because you fucking changed the story and the people don't fucking like it as a whole. And then it's like, well, why don't they like it? They just don't like it because they're all neckbeards. No, they don't like it because it's not the fucking story, you self-pretentious ass jackass. But yeah.
But yeah.
Like that's why a lot of people liked Watchmen, because for the most part, they literally just took the fucking story and made it a film.
And the one thing they
They
cut out of
they
Watchmen.
changed the ending a bit, but they kept the idea of the ending. They just changed the explanation of the ending.
Well, and the one thing they cut out, because I did read it, and I mean, I read it when I was a little too young to fully understand it. If I read it again, I might get it now. But the one thing they cut out was they cut out the comic within the comic, which was like good, because that shit was not important to the main plot. But what may be important to the main plot for the flow of whatever we want and the flow of you all keeping in contact with us is if you would like to follow us on our socials, then you can go ahead and search for me under on Facebook, Superjaz. That would be spelled Superjaz. Like I said, go on Facebook, find it, type it in, give me a like, give me a follow, please and thank you. You can also go ahead and look me up on Twitter and follow me. That would be Superjaz2. So that would be Superjaz number 2. And you can also go ahead and follow me on my Instagram, which would be under Forever Super Jazz, the word forever spelled correctly. Like I stated a little earlier in the podcast, I am an MC from time to time. I get my rap on. So if you would like to hear some of that from yours truly, anywhere you stream your music, you can type in my debut solo album, My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not that famous yet. All that being said, yo, Pete, where might they find you? Or Omari?
They know where they can find me. First of all, you can find me here, as I said earlier, every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube at YouTube/feogrande. That's FEO Grande. I am also on Twitch at twitch.tv/Giotavi. That is GIOTAVI. I have a Twitter of the same handle. I've been streaming every day this year in 2021 in some extent. In these later days of this year, they've been shorter streams because I've been traveling, but still every day. At the time of this recording, I have 20 days to go for it to be fucking every day for the year.
That's crazy.
But yeah, come on, stop by. I've been mainly playing fighting games and stuff. Recently, I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake again when I was actually playing games for other reasons. Ironically enough, I was just talking about Remake, which I do like Final Fantasy VII Remake, but for people who have played it and the original, you know exactly what I do have a problem with the game, because there are some problems I have with it, but it's still a good game in and of its own right.
Right, you played that game so many times, you definitely would have an opinion. But all that being said, we love you guys, and if you feel so inclined, please leave a comment, engage with us. We would love to engage and talk to you. And I mean, I do know what's going to happen to this bump eventually. It's going to, pop, and I'm going to have to, peroxide it, alcohol it, whatever, put a Band-Aid on it. But maybe you could tell me, because I don't know this. What the fuck are we going to talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adiosness. So transform.